multiple times per month, you know, with multiple opponents at every meet. That's the kind of you know, competitive experience that can really pay off inside of a 3-round fight against one opponent.
Even as you see here at the weights, the wrestler made weight, and it looks like Kyle Coleman missed weight. I'm not sure if he took it on short notice or just inexperience at weight cutting.
With a record of 0-0, I mean, this is you know, there is that small window for kind of like acceptable mistakes, and you know, missing weight once, I mean, sometimes can be overlooked, albeit, you know, maybe by more than a pound. You got to really question his commitment and his method.
HAVOC Fighting Championship lightweight division, and is brought to you by Absolute Fitness and Sheck Interiors. Please welcome first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Calgary, Alberta, representing Cardinal BJJ and MMA. He stands 5'11". He weighed in at 159 pounds. He is making his professional debut. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kyle Coleman. And his opponent fighting out of Edmonton, Alberta, and representing Kamikaze Punishment. He stands 5'10". He weighed in at 155 pounds even. He has an unblemished professional record with 1 win, 0 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay Dixon. The man in charge of the action when it starts inside the cage is Mr. Adam Cheeto.
Adam Cheeto, the 3rd man inside the ring for the 2nd fight on tonight's professional portion of HAVOC Fighting Championships 9. Clay Dixon and Kyle Coleman set to get underway. Clay Dixon opens with a nice little knee and what looked like an axe kick that did not find its mark.
He's starting off pretty aggressively, pushing the pace here. He's obviously a much quicker fighter. He's got to make sure he keeps that.
Kyle Coleman landing a nice jab there. But now is kind of fading under a combination of shots from Clay Dixon. Clay Dixon taking command of the center of the ring early on here in round 1.
Looks like Marty here is trying to set up a counter punch with his left hand, but he is getting tagged quite a bit while he's trying to do so.
He is getting tagged quite a bit up against the fence here. What he needs to do is circle out, but he opts to change levels and shoot in.
He's got to either back out or go fully commit in or try wrestler switch, get out of this spot. It's never fun.
Absolutely. Clay Dixon looks like he's trying to drag his opponent down to the mat. Perhaps take a switch to the back there. Unsuccessfully.
Oh, he's dragging him down and he keeps committing, but he's got to block off that arm. Or
Kyle Coleman doing a good job of, at the very least, keeping his opponent in front of him there.
He did a good job avoiding getting his back taken.
And Clay Dixon showing some crisp striking and a beautiful transition to a takedown. Not something you expect with somebody of a record of only 1-0.
He goes straight to side control here. Switched his hips to clear the leg. Now he's just got to keep the space and watch out the push off the cage.
And that looks to be what Kyle Coleman is attempting to do at the very least, but as you said, he needs to commit or find another option.
This is a bad spot. Crucifix is one of the hardest spots to get out of in the MMA. He's just got to avoid letting him land those elbows right now.
And simply trying to sit up and you know, use the power of your core to get out of this position is not going to work. It's going to be interesting to see if Kyle Coleman has the technical jiu-jitsu pedigree that we think he might have had to get out of this position.
Here we go, spinning right to the back.
Kyle Coleman giving up just enough space between himself and the cage for Clay Dixon to take his back.
He's committing to that arm triangle. It's kind of hard against a closing cage, but that is deep. His arm is set up very deep there, and Kyle Coleman doing nothing here.
He looks as though he's getting himself ready to tap.
Yeah, he's got to start moving, hook a leg. He's got to keep this telephone. up. He just gave the thumbs up, but he's got to start working here because these things just slowly get tighter. Coleman's just got to keep walking his feet out to land this.
By the position of his hips, it looks like he is turning into the pressure, which is proper defense.
There we go. He gave it up. The cage kept him from spinning there to sink it in deeper.
Now looking to take a back mount, but with his hips a little bit too high out. Coleman.
He's swimming for the arm now. Oh, there we go. Coleman's head's out. This is dangerous right here. He's got to walk towards him, not away from him. It's making it easier to land this arm bar. There we go. He's going the proper way now. He's got to try to put his weight on him.
Yeah, Kyle Coleman, absolutely. He had a golden opportunity to stack up Clay Dixon there, but he did not. And Clay Dixon is working diligently for the arm bar, but again, decides to give it up.
Very good defense there.
Very good defense, but I think from Clay Dixon's perspective, I mean, he's taking his time here.
Strong knee.
He's managed to size up his opponent and find out where he's weak, and I think he feels confident here in the early goings on. 54 seconds left in the first round.
This fight so far is all Clay Dixon, but Coleman showing some signs of experience here. He knows what he's doing. He's just slowly wearing out, it seems like. He's slowing down quite a bit from the beginning.
And some of that might not even have to do with beautiful arm throw.
You never go wrong throwing. Yeah, good old fireman's carry arm throws. Sometimes it's just fun to see flashy things in the cage.
As I was saying before, I feel like he has really sized up Kyle Coleman here and feels like he can get away with something like that.
Coleman's ending the round in a terrible spot, but he should be able to survive this round. There's only a couple seconds left.
Looking to put on a little bit of a crank there. I'm not sure if the choke was close at all.
No, I don't think it was quite under the chin. That was a dominant round by Clay Dixon, and he seems to just know exactly what to do right now. I expect him to start off the second round pretty aggressive.
Pretty aggressive, but you know, I think he's playing a patient game here and kind of letting his game open up a little bit, showing tremendous aptitude for the striking as well as the wrestling. You know, he was close to a few submissions, but was smart enough not to overcommit and blow himself up and give away an advantage. Again, we see here in the replay, Clay Dixon just kind of picking and choosing his strikes, while Kyle Coleman just kind of turtles against the cage and really doesn't have much to offer in the way of defense. Shooting for a takedown there. Here we see the armbar attempt by Clay Dixon.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kyle Coleman try to push forward more instead of backing up. Keep a lower base since he's not kicking very much anyway to make the takedowns a bit harder. And try just to set up a jab being southpaw. Some people have a lot of trouble with that.
Kyle Coleman looking a little bit more fired up as round two gets underway. And again, Clay Dixon coming out.
Yeah, he's very
firing
patient.
off a couple jabs and looking very, very, very poised and you know, very committed to displaying every aspect of his game here.
This is why sometimes I like these wrestlers coming in, because they already have so much experience fighting in front of people. They adapt very quick, and most new guys, they start off kind of restless, and here Dixon is. He's taking his time. It's showing a lot of poise for someone only 1-0 and new to striking.
Probably has a lot to do with, as we were saying before, the competitive depth of his wrestling career.
There you go, see him shake his arms off here.
And Kyle Coleman now committing to some solid strikes. Fires off an up jab there, kind of errant, but previously looking good with a right hand, which again lands.
Marty Eklund's throwing all arm punches here, but he has crisp boxing. Oh, Kyle Coleman, sorry, that's my bad. I would like to see him use his jab. He had a pretty sharp jab in the beginning round. Nice.
He finds a nice short hook to the body there.
There we go.
But now Clay Dixon fires off a couple of knees from the clinch. Clay Dixon has really got to get into the game here and start changing gears with Clay Dixon as he's mixing it up beautifully.
Yeah, he has a lot more diverse strikes than Kyle Coleman here, but Kyle Coleman's sticking in there. He's not backing down at all.
Clay Dixon looking for a nice hook kick there.
Oh, he just ate a good left hand right there, though. Sometimes all you need is one good little punch to make someone shoot.
Returns to his roots for a power double and takes him down with ease.
Kyle Coleman can't be settling right here. He just looked comfy right there. He's got to start moving. Never want to stay on bottom of a wrestler, speaking from experience there. It's no fun.
Oh, not at all. And, you know, not just a wrestler, but a wrestler who's using the cage to his advantage and has got the wherewithal to do so. It could be the worst place in the world. And again here, looks to be kind of setting up Kyle Coleman for a second there. He looked as if he were setting up a little bit of a Darce choke, but
there we go. He's looking to sink in that rear naked and set up his hooks.
Kyle Coleman doing very little to defend himself here, except taking that wrist control. Clay Dixon working for a rear naked choke, but he's far from got it in. I'm really fond of this position as in regards to putting on a crank, and if
Kyle Coleman looks too comfortable here just because it's not on right now. Rear nakeds could slip under the chin. All it takes is one slight movement, and then you're going out.
Absolutely. And off that defense, Clay Dixon recommits, and I believe he's looking to end the fight here. Clay Dixon, or Kyle Coleman rather,
he is fighting it
off.
Looking
a little slippery here in round 2.
Later rounds, harder submissions. It's sometimes you don't need the best submission defense to escape submissions if it's round 2 and 3, and when your opponent's arms are getting tired out. That's why I've always favored going for rear naked chokes on the top and flattening out an opponent instead of having them on top of you. It's easier to defend. Oh, there we go, mount. This is very dangerous.
Very dangerous indeed.
As you see, he's going for grapevines here so he could posture up and start punching. But it looks like he's committing to another submission attempt.
And I'm curious as to what the situation here is here with Kyle Coleman. As you stated at the outset of this bout, he comes from a jiu-jitsu heavy school. You know, he's got that exposure, but he's really not offering up much in the way of technical defense here, Mike. Do you think it's perhaps the strikes that maybe have taken him out of his game a little? Did he not expect it?
Yeah, maybe he just thought he might just be getting laid on by a wrestler.
And that choke is in. Here we go. The end of the fight has never been closer for Clay Dixon as he has got a rear naked choke in very deeply on Kyle Coleman.
Every time Kyle fights it off, it keeps getting deeper, and as you see, he goes palm to palm, and it almost lands, but Coleman does not stop rolling with it.
And Kyle Coleman just manning his way out of these positions here. As I said, not much in the way of technical defense, but I have to believe
it's all heart right there. He just did not stop moving, and he just kept rolling to escape.
And I have to believe that Clay Dixon, at some point, chose to take this fight to round 3, and at this point has really got his opponent clocked. You know?
Yeah, those were 2 very dominant rounds. If I was Clay Dixon's corner, I'd be telling him build his submission attempts and just start landing elbows and punches. Because he's
very smooth as he kind of flows from position to position over Kyle Coleman, not really getting much, finding a little bit to commit to here and there. But do you expect him to turn it up in round 3, Mike?
I would hope so. He's up 2 rounds, and I don't like when people coast. So he's coming so close to these submissions. He's dominating position. I would like to see him go for this finish here and put an exclamation mark on this whole fight.
Yeah, it might simply be a case of having such a wrestling heavy background, and being so interested in the striking portion of the game that maybe the confidence in his holds, the confidence in his submissions simply isn't there yet. Who knows?
And as Kyle Coleman's corner, they got to be telling him, get desperate. You got to go for broke here.
And
sometimes you got to risk it.
Round 2 was showing some some promise in the striking department here, but kind of plotting out for round 3, it's hard to believe that he could get anywhere with that.
Yeah, he looks pretty fatigued right now. I'd like to see him sit down on those punches and make them count.
Absolutely. If you're going to walk out flat-footed, you know, put some power on top of it.
Yeah, he's just plodding here, just towards him.
It looks like he understands the you know, the fundamentals of the striking game. He's trying to put some combinations here together, but there's just no explosiveness or no wind behind it.
And he keeps landing this left straight, but he's not committing to it much. I would like to see him try set that up a bit more. It's landing every time he throws it.
Nice single collar tie up there from Clay Dixon, who uses it to land a couple uppercuts and a knee.
I gotta say, Kyle Coleman is one tough guy. He's taking some nasty hits to the body, and he's not even flinching.
Taking some shots, but now sprawling Clay Dixon out here. And if I'm not mistaken, Dixon, he's taking control of the center of the ring.
Oh, yes, right here. You got to watch out for Clay Dixon to do a wrestler switch and kick out his right leg and spin to the back. He gets on top. Coleman should have kept more weight down on him, not give him so much space.
Absolutely gave him way too much space to operate.
Look how tight Dixon's on top. He's giving him no room to do anything here, sneaking arms.
And again, this is what I'm saying from what we know of Kyle Coleman. He does have that exposure, and he does have that wealth of jiu-jitsu knowledge to draw from. But it's interesting to see, you know, his approach to defense here on the ground.
Yes, I would like to see Dixon put in more hip pressure when he takes people's back here to keep them flat, because he's giving them a lot of space when he takes their back so they could keep spinning. I would like to see him push his hips forward into his back and flatten him out and just start loading on punches.
Now, one thing he's absolutely not doing...
just like that, except for keep this hip pressure on, and he could land punches all day from there. You got to try to lift your opponent's hips off the floor with your feet and keep your hips going straight in, and they'll lift their feet, and it's so hard to move from that position.
And part of that is due to the grip that he was using on the upper body of Kyle Coleman. Kyle Coleman now, as I was saying before, he doesn't appear to be panicking overly. He's moving at his own pace, which is, you know, generally a good thing. But you know, if I'm in his corner, I'm telling him to pick it up and go for broke at this point.
Yes, Dixon's really trying to force this arm triangle right now. He hasn't bailed on it since he's taken his back. He's trying to force him onto his back to land it. Sometimes it's best just bail out and throw a couple elbows and go back. When you're so concentrated on one submission, it comes easier to defend it. And maybe that's the case with Kyle Coleman. He just knows what's happening. He's not at risk to get big shots landed because it's yet to happen.
And now in kind of a technical mount position, Clay Dixon has got the chance to fire off some left hands, and he does. But again, as Kyle Coleman keeps the scramble up, finds his way again to his back, threatening with the same rear naked choke that we saw in round 2.
It's impressive in itself, game put in so many rear naked chokes and not being phased, not panicking. He's keeping so calm here.
He is, and you know, and that tells you you've been there before. But from a guy who has been there before, and obviously so many times, you got to wonder, you know, where's the rest of the game? You know, you've obviously got more in your IQ. You've got more to draw from. So let's see it.
Defense never won any fights.
True words were never spoken, and as you say that, you know, Kyle Coleman's on the mat, basically turtling up here, basically eating shots from Clay Dixon, who's got all the time and all the space in the world to do as he pleases.
Yes, this fight's been all him. It's been quite dominating, and hopefully Kyle Coleman chalks this down his learning experience, be a bit more offensive.
This has been something of an exhibition for Kamikaze Punishment's Clay Dixon, who looks to be on a road to improving his professional record to 2-0 at the expense, of course, of Kyle Coleman. And now with 10 seconds left in the round, Clay Dixon is absolutely going to school on Kyle Coleman.
That was a very impressive showing.
Very impressive showing, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of output Clay Dixon has against a truly game opponent. No offense to Kyle Coleman, his coach, or his team, but you know, it's debatable as to whether or not he really showed up for this fight tonight.
Yeah, he never got. He only had a couple moments of offense in this fight, and it was pretty much all Clay Dixon. And
as we can see in the replay here, it is all Clay Dixon again in that, you know, kind of working on a back mount here, but firing off shots up and underneath the armpit, a position which I absolutely love. There's so much power to be had from there when striking. And again here, looking good with that back mount, but just pummeling Kyle Coleman at will.
Yeah, I got to give it up to Kyle Coleman. He's stuck in there. He did not even come close to quitting and kept pushing forward, but sometimes that's just not enough. Once the skill gets up with that heart, then you become a pretty dangerous opponent for anyone.
Absolutely. And for the official's decision now, we kick it up to Mr. Keith Crawford and, of course, veteran referee Adam Cheadle. Hear the throngs of Kamikaze Punishment fans in the background, having made the journey here from Edmonton to support their boy Clay Dixon on his way to his second professional victory.
This makes me more excited to watch the Chandler Jones and Dixon's sister coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Pohl scores the fight 30-26. Judge Harb scores the fight 30-27. And Judge Social scores the fight 30-25. For your winner, by unanimous decision, in the red corner, Clay Dixon.